I cheated on my husband with his best friend. I never thought something like this could happen, but it did, and there's no changing it now. I'll have to live with it. I think my husband suspects something. He's been distant, or maybe I've been the one pulling away. It's hard to say now. Some of it is a blur in my memory, but the memory of it still excites me, whether I want it to or not. It happened when an old friend of ours, my husband's best friend, came to town. He was looking for a place to live and asked to stay with us temporarily until he could sort out his living situation. Every now and then, flashes from that time come back to me. They stir me up and won't let me rest. I often recall the night when Oleg came over with a bottle of cognac, saying he had finally sorted out his apartment. We had dinner and the men started drinking. My husband opened another bottle, but Oleg drank sparingly, skipping turns with various excuses. Meanwhile, he couldn't stop staring at me. At some point, Oleg decided it was time to leave. "Where are you going?" "It's late, just stay over," my husband, Sasha, said. He told me to make up a bed for Oleg in the living room and went to bed himself, saying he had to wake up early for work. I set up a bed for Oleg and stood by the window watching the rain. My whole body was trembling with nervousness. Oleg came up behind me and placed his hands on my shoulders. A shiver ran through me again. "No, not now." "What if my husband isn't asleep yet?" I said. Oleg leaned in and whispered in my ear. I checked. He's fast asleep. My heart started racing, pounding so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. A thought crossed my mind. My husband is just in the next room. What am I doing? But everything was already spinning out of control. Those thoughts quickly disappeared, and we did what we did. Life is complicated and full of surprises, but we always have a choice. Life gave me a surprise in the form of my husband's friend Oleg, a surprise I couldn't resist. The next day, I managed to leave work earlier than usual. I called Oleg and he said he'd be free soon too. I rushed to take a quick shower, and when I came out, Oleg was already standing at the door. He took my hand and led me to the living room. I know it's wrong, but what am I supposed to do when things between us have become so intense? Oleg and I have a passionate affair. It's unforgettable. But my husband isn't a fool. He'll figure out what's happening. When he does, there'll be a scandal, a divorce, and I'll be back to my maiden name. What will I even say to him? I lived with you all this time, but I never felt the kind of passion I feel with your friend Oleg. Or am I just being foolish? Should I try to hide the affair with Oleg for as long as possible? Maybe my husband won't notice, and I'll get away with it. What do you think? Could this work? Or am I being naive? Has anyone ever experienced something like this?